Hello and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide and episode 7 in our Let's Play Planet Coaster Christmas Wonderland series, and it's great to hear that you're all enjoying this series so far. Honestly, I've absolutely loved building this park, reading through all of your different name and theme idea suggestions. It has been brilliant so far and really festive, and hopefully it's getting you in that festive mood because we all need it, don't we, especially after this year. But yes, welcome to episode 7. In this episode, I'm going to be starting work on a brand new themed area. That's what you can see I've just started here by putting a car ride in and also putting the pathway coming out there as well. But more about that in just a moment. Along with that, I'm going to be putting in a few different rides in this episode, working on this new themed area, and also sharing my plans for what I've sort of got in mind for this back part of the park that's all going to be built throughout episode 7 here and throughout the final 3 episodes that will all be coming on the next 3 Wednesdays. So yes, as you can see, starting work then on the area by putting in this car ride, a nice traditional attraction, and I wanted to make sure that we had that lined up there with the pathway just for some really nice interaction. So as you can see there, I've actually lined that up along the side. The beauty is with the rides like this, even the tracked rides, you can just use the advanced moving tool and you can actually line it up perfectly with the pathway or building or wherever you wanted to put it or what you wanted it to fit in with. You can move it perfectly so it fits in with that. As you can see as well, we've extended the pathway out from the Santa's Village area, so that's blocked off at the moment. I mean, the park's still running, there's guests down there enjoying it, and if you haven't already, check out episode 6 from last week and you can see me actually opening the park. This park is now open to the guests and they're enjoying it, it seems. They're having a good time. As you can see with the layouts here to this ride, we're actually going to have a couple of different elevations to it as well. So you can see here I'm just raising up the road, and that's going to go back down under itself there as well. The plan is to have like a nice fancy bridge feature on there with some lights on as well to really add to it. So you'll see that later on in the episode. Now, you might be thinking, what exactly is this going to be themed to? Now, ever since I started this series 7 weeks ago now, I had it in my head for one of my favourite ever Christmas songs, and that is Driving Home for Christmas. I won't sing it anymore, that'll do. But yeah, Driving Home for Christmas. And I thought, you know what, why not put a car ride in themed around it? I was going to do it way back in episode 1, but I didn't. I thought, no, I'm going to save it until a little bit closer to actual Christmas, because of course we're building this in the run up to Christmas 2020. So yes, this is going to be an attraction called Driving Home for Christmas. And that would just play on a loop, not just that little bit, the full song would play all the way round on this car ride as you're going round. So that is the plan. Now, as I've been working on this series, I've actually seen a couple of different comments of people giving me suggestions to actually build a car ride with the name Driving Home for Christmas. So I just want to say thank you to those people as well, because obviously I had it in my head initially, and then everybody else has been commenting it, or a good few people have, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to build it. Like, why not? That fits perfectly as another family ride down here at the back part of the park. And then I thought, well, if we're driving home for Christmas, the key word being home, why don't we build a town centre or like a cul-de-sac with some shops, like a real street, and cover it in Christmas lights. Now, we've all been somewhere to a street somewhere that's covered in Christmas lights, and I'm not about like your normal town centre. I'm on about residential homes, people who live in their houses and they've actually covered them in Christmas lights. In fact, we used to do it back at home, and you know, we used to love doing it, but obviously times change, you know, and jobs change and that sort of thing, don't they? So we don't do it anymore, but you know, it used to be a big thing for us. It took up so much time. I mean, we wouldn't have the time to do it now with all the changes that we've made, you know, with work, and of course with the channel being a full-time thing for me. But yeah, you know, we used to do that big, and we all know somewhere where you can go and see loads of Christmas lights. So I thought, why not incorporate that into a themed area here? And that is what I'm doing with these buildings. So you've seen I've done the station building to the car ride. That looks like a house. Then over here opposite it on the other side of the street is an actual house, and the plan is to have 4 or 5 different houses all around this area, and you are driving home for Christmas. That is how cheesy this is going to be, all really pretty much because of the song, but why not? I just thought it'd fit in really well. So yeah, you'd literally be sat on this car ride, driving between all the houses, looking at all the lights as you're driving home for Christmas. So that is the plan with this. Along with that as well, I thought it'd be a really nice idea. This could actually be a programmed light show to music. If it was a real park, you could actually program all this, every single strand of lights, to music. I mean, you could technically do that using the display sequencer in the game, but I'm not going to do that because I've got something else planned using that for the final episode, as you'll find out. However, yeah, you know, if you wanted to, you could program all the lights to dance to music and that sort of thing, because this park is going to be available to download in the Steam Workshop. Not until it's complete though. I always wait until about 3-4 days after, you know, maybe up to a week after it's actually complete before it goes into the workshop. That's because I like to finish the series. I like to complete it how I wanted to, and then of course you can add to it, you can remove things, you can do what you want to it once you've of course downloaded it in the workshop, if you do play Planet Coaster yourselves. So that is the plan with this area. It's going to be this like town centre. I thought it worked really well. You're coming out of Santa's village, and it's kind of like a follow-up from that area really. You're coming out of there, and this is where all the people live that have gone to see Santa and visit his village. These are all their houses, and they're all decked out for Christmas. So the plan is, in terms of lighting, we're going to go very traditional in here, and we're not going to have coloured lights everywhere. I'm going to just have white lights and keep it very traditional, because as much as, you know, traditional, you can do that with coloured lights too, and that may be some people's tradition, but I think it'd look a lot more sleek and a lot more just what I'm feeling with this area if all the lights were done in white, and I think it'd fit with the snow, of course, with the terrain, what we've got. So that is the plan with this. We're going to use white lights on all the buildings, and I'm going to start to add them strands in shortly. But these are all just houses that we're putting in here now. None of these buildings are really going to have a function other than, of course, the station for the car ride, and the station for the ski lift that I've also put in, and also as well the area where you can see just at the back there with the windows on. That's also going to be an actual building what you can go into as a restaurant. So talking of them other rides, I have put in a chairlift, and that is going to connect up with what will be the final themed area in this park, that's going to be coming in episode 9 and possibly episode 10, the last one. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this sort of chairlift I thought would fit in nicely here, because you get an aerial view looking over the lights down the streets here that we're going to create, and also it's going to be a transport ride that connects over to the other side where there's going to be this other themed area, but I'll talk more about that later on. You can also see I've actually added in a breakdance attraction there as well. That is going to form a part of this area. However, it's this whole area of the park is going to come in 2 phases. Phase 1 you're seeing in this episode, phase 2 in episode 8 next Wednesday. And the reason I'm doing it in 2 phases is because we're going to have a very traditional style Christmas fun fair. It's actually going to be set up to look like a fun fair. Lots of travelling rides all put together on a piece of land next to this housing estate. And that's the look what we're going to go for just off to the left of this area, what I'm working on here. So that's certainly something to look forward to, and that'll be coming up in episode 8. Now, I did mention a couple of minutes ago how this building would be functional and guests will actually be able to walk inside this during the game. What I've decided to do is actually extend the building out, as you've seen there. Originally, it was just going to be 2 squares across, but I thought, no, I'm going to actually extend it out a little bit, just to make sure that guests can actually go in there and we can have some food outlets, and it's a nice covered over area. And it also looks a bit better down at the end of the street. We've created this bit of a cul-de-sac, haven't we? This residential area that we're going to smother in Christmas lights, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. We can put some lights all on the shop facade there. That's why we've got the big glass windows, you know, to put all lights and garlands around it and stuff, you know, like you'd expect from maybe Harrods down in London, like a really festive Christmas display. That's what will be in them windows, and we can, of course, we can add all of that in with this as well. So already it's coming together really well. We've put in the different rides here, the 3 different attractions so far, working on the fence there down the side just to block this in a little bit. Of course, you're going to get a nice view from up there on the chairlift. I mean, you're going to look all the way down this area. If you look to the left, you'll see Charles Chadwick's Chocolate Factory, the Santa's Village themed area, Candy Cane Lane. You're going to get some great views. And like I say, that is actually going to lead to a final themed area that I'm looking forward to building. And I'll reveal more about that at the end of this episode. As you can see then, I'm also extending out the path there from Candy Cane Lane. That is going to lead into this same area that we're building here, and like I say, we're going to put in lots of different fun fair rides. It's going to actually look like a travelling fair is kind of set up there for the winter on this piece of land next to the housing estate. You can see there we've already got the breakdance. That is one of them rides. There's going to be maybe another 2, possibly 3 rides going around that area, and that's all going to be done in episode 8. But I thought for now, just so we can get a bit of an idea on the space, I would put the pathways in around there and also work on the terrain as well. So as you can see, I've raised up all of the hills around there and putting in the lovely frosty trees covered in snow between the houses on top of the hills there, just to block the area in. You know me, I really like to separate my themed areas when I'm working in Planet Coaster with trees, building berms. Of course, Disney love building berms just to separate areas and, of course, actually block the park. I mean, that was something what was done at the original Disneyland in California. Of course, for when that opened back in 1955, Walt Disney wanted to make sure that there was a berm, a hill built all the way around the edge, just to make sure that when guests were actually standing inside, they couldn't look outside and see what was happening. And I like to incorporate that into my theme parks, so thanks Walt Disney for that one. I like to incorporate that into the parks just so if you were a guest here and standing on ground level, you wouldn't be seeing things necessarily from the other areas. Of course, you're going to see some of the taller rides, but in general you're not seeing buildings and shops and some of the smaller rides that don't necessarily fit the theme as well. As you can see here then, I'm now starting to work on the lighting, the strands of lights that are going to cover these buildings. This was a big time-consuming job. It took a very long time. There was no way really of making this quicker because the different buildings have got different shapes to them and the lights all need to go around the windows and not over them. And yeah, it's one of them that did take quite a long time. You're looking at a couple of hours worth of footage here sped up and little bits cut out, of course, as well. You don't want to watch me for the full episode just hanging strands of light, so I have cut it down to just over a few minutes, but this took a very, very long time. And I've mentioned this film already as inspiration for this series, but Christmas Vacation by the National Lampoons, I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people love that too from reading the comments on when I mentioned it in an earlier episode, but Griswold's house in that film gives me the inspiration for this. I thought, let's go for Clark Griswold's house and put all of the decorations hanging up here in strands of lights, because that's pretty much what he did. He hung strands and strands next to each other all the way across his house, and that's what I wanted to go for with this. A little look at it in the daytime there to see, and then of course at night. This area will still look good in the daytime and it'll still serve a function because of course it's got rides around here. However, the buildings are really going to come to life at night all the way around here. But yeah, inspired by Clark Griswold's house in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, this whole street area. And that's why I've kind of gone for the American style old cars as well on the car ride, just because I thought they'd fit with it, because this is a very American style street kind of what we're going for here. There's nothing really else in the park what looks very American, and I thought, yeah, we can kind of make this look like that, because America does Christmas huge, don't they? I mean, you know, a lot of countries do around the world now, especially here in the UK. Christmas is just getting bigger and bigger, but you know, America really goes to town with decoration. So I thought, yeah, this would be like an American town. And we'll put like the American car ride in, of course, driving home for Christmas. I just had to go for that name. I don't think it needs anything else. So once again, I just want to say thank you to the people who've actually commented throughout this series. There's been people commenting all the way through with different names, and I just think driving home for Christmas would really fit this. So many people said, oh, Sean, you know, why don't you do a car ride and call it Drive It Home for Christmas? So yeah, that is exactly what that's going to be called, and it fits in with the theme of this area as well. I thought let's utilise the bauble silhouettes there and actually hang strands of lights from them just to make them look like they're hanging from the buildings. Thought that looked quite a cool effect. And at this point we were maybe an hour into strangling strands of lights going on. Hoping nobody is getting strangled by the Christmas lights. To hanging these strands of lights, not strangling, all the way around the area here. It's very time consuming. It takes nearly as long as it does if you were putting real Christmas lights up in your garden or onto your house for Christmas, much like I'm sure a lot of you have over the past couple of weeks leading up to the big festive season. Of course, if you're watching this at some point in the future, this series was all filmed in the run-up to Christmas 2020 after what's been a really tough year for everybody this year. Of course, the obvious thing, the pandemic that's made its way throughout the world, and hopefully this has brought some Christmas cheer to you all out there. I know it brings a lot of Christmas cheer to me putting this together and working on the park and reading all of your lovely comments on these episodes. Honestly, it really means the world to me, and it's great that you've been enjoying this series. And I've started to have a few ideas actually in regards to the next series here on Theme Park Worldwide for Planet Coaster, because you know what, when this series comes to an end at the end of December, there's still going to be a good few months until we're back into the swing of the theme park season. So I'm happy to confirm right here and now in episode 7 of Christmas Wonderland that we will be going straight in with another new series of Planet Coaster once this park has been complete, and that will start directly after on the Wednesday after this series has come to an end. So there we go, something to look forward to at the start of January, another series of Let's Play Planet Coaster. You guys have really been enjoying this one. I've really enjoyed putting this part together, and I've started to have a few ideas for what I'd like to do next. And of course, if you've got any suggestions as well, let me know down below in the video comments. Please stay away from asking me to do recreations. As much as I really do appreciate the fact that some of you would love me to see recreate Alton Towers or a park from abroad, I'm going to stay away from doing recreations because it's just not me. I really like coming up with original ideas and themes. I don't really want to try and recreate something that's already there. I'd much rather come up with something that isn't there and very different. And from a player's perspective, I just enjoy playing the game a lot more building something new instead of trying to recreate something. There's people out there that do fantastic recreations and fair play to them. And I have had a go off camera at, recreating a couple of things, but I just don't really get the enjoyment from it the same. I feel like I maybe lose interest part the way through, and that's something that I really don't do when I'm building my own parks. I don't lose interest at all. I like to finish it through and through until it's complete and it's exactly how I want it. And talking of how I want it, the lights are looking awesome on the buildings. I decided to put some lights here on the supports as well for the chairlift ride, because I thought, why not? It's a lovely Christmas area. Let's go for that. We'll put in these nice holly wreaths as well with the lights onto the lamp posts, and they're going to sit nicely on the road all throughout the area here as well. Of course, we've got lots of different finishing touches coming into them buildings. We've got the wreaths, we've got the trees. The lawns have been decorated now with the trees and the baubles, and it's really coming together nicely, all of this area. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it is coming together so far. Right then, so as you can see, we're just adding in some more garlands, and that's a big thing with this. It's finishing touches and making sure that we don't have the areas looking too similar. Of course, with it being a Christmas themed park, yes, it's all going to look festive, but I didn't want every single area to have the same colour schemes, the same look about it. I wanted each area to feel different. This is quite a cold feeling area, much like the opening area of the park actually, with all the blues. This is very cold, but of course using the whites. Whereas compared to something like Candy Cane Lane and Santa's Village, that are a lot warmer with the greens and red colours that we've brought in, with this it's a much cooler style feel. They look cool actually, adding the baubles with the strands onto the roofs. That's something that I thought I definitely wanted to do because that would look really nice, and yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And as you can see now, we're at the stage where we can actually duplicate some of the buildings and move them across. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. I've just duplicated that house there and then moved it over. So it can actually be part of the little housing estate that we're going to create as you're making your way round on the Driving Home for Christmas attraction. I did promise I wouldn't sing it again, but there you go. Yeah, so as you can see, this is coming together nicely now. with the houses. I'm just moving some of the trees, baubles and other bits of scenery around just to make sure that it fits a lot better. And we do have some differences. We don't want them to look exactly the same. They need to have a few little differences on there as well. Just building up the terrain there at what will be the back of the park. So there's going to be nothing else built behind there now for the rest of this series. That will be the very back of the park, because the final themed area is going to be just going to the left of where I've actually built this town area and this residential street. Yes, that area is going to be going off to the left. And of course, you'll be able to see that in the next couple of episodes. So here we're putting in the driveways now, just coming off from the road, and I thought it'd be quite a nice effect if we could kind of line it up there and have it the same colour, so it looks like the cars can just drive off the road and into the driveway. I made it sound like the cars were going to crash then driving off the road, didn't I? I don't mean it like that. They can drive from the road onto their driveway. There we go, I worded that better. And of course that's the garage there with a big star on. They fit nice, them houses. Like I said, I didn't fancy doing all them lights again on those, so I just duplicated them over and of course added some differences onto them, and we'll put some more decorations and stuff and trees in the middle of them shortly. Thought we'll have a nice body of water around here as well, because why not? I thought that'd fit in quite nicely. So as you can see, we've put the water just in the middle there. We're going to have a fountain package on there as well, that of course just makes it look even nicer and more Christmassy, very festive all the way around here. And of course putting a fountain on there as well is going to stop that lake from freezing up. If it was a real park, it wouldn't really freeze up as much if there was a fountain on there, just to keep the water moving and have a bit of a current still around there. Of course, just lining up the actual fence panels there now on the driveways to make sure they fit well. And adding in a nice Christmas bandstand. I thought, why not? We've not put a bandstand in yet, so let's have it here on the driving home for Christmas attraction. I was originally going to have two, and then I thought, nope, two's a bit too much. I want to do something else with that elevated track on the car ride. So let's just have the one, and I'll put some trees all around there as a bit of filler. I kind of want this to feel like the journey is going out into a bit of a forest at this point, and you're having to climb up this hill. So yeah, that's exactly why I took the bandstand out of that area, and we're going to put a really nice bridge on there, and you'll see me doing that in the next few minutes. So as you can see, we're putting in some more landscaping all the way around the side, and now starting to work on that bridge. So it's going to be a bit of a feature, a really nice focal point for the driving home for Christmas car ride here. Now, of course, this has already got a name because it just had to be called that. Like, there was no other option, in my opinion. However, there is a couple of other attractions that need some names. So we're going to have the breakdance attraction there, and also as well, there's the chairlift. So I could do with some names for both of those. So get them coming in, comment down below on this episode with those names. And of course, in the next episode, there's going to be more opportunities to name some attractions, because there's going to be at least 2, possibly 3 more flat rides actually coming in to this area as well as part of the phase 2. We'll be opening phase 1 to guests, and then phase 2 will be being built in episode 8. And of course, I'll reveal the names that you guys have chosen for the chairlift attraction and also the break dance as well. So get them suggestions coming in, and I look forward to reading them throughout this week. As you can see, the bridge is looking nice now. Very American style bridge just going over there. It's not really a long one, but it doesn't need to be, because it's just passing between the 2 hills there. We're going to smother it in LED lights as well, just so that fits the parts and looks really nice around here at night. And you can see those lights going in there as well. At this point, I'd getting pretty sick of putting all of these stranded lights on places, but you know what? It was looking good, especially when you switch into the night mode. That's the thing with this game. Sometimes you just need to have a bit of a break and do something else, and then you can come back to it and you can be fully motivated again. It's one of them games that sometimes you just need to turn it off and do something else, or even go and play Roller Coaster Tycoon for a little bit. And I do that sometimes. I will switch off the game and I'll just go and do something in Roller Coaster Tycoon. You can build a full park in the time it takes to build like one building or one themed area, such as this in Planet Coaster. But it is a beautiful game, isn't it? And I know a lot of you have really been enjoying the console edition as well. Bit of a shame about the maximum build limit. That seems to be holding quite a few people back with what they want to do. on the console edition. Of course, that isn't a thing on the PC edition. You just go until your computer starts telling you it doesn't want any more, basically. But yeah, you know, in all seriousness, you know, I can kind of see why they've had to do it on the console edition. But yeah, it must be a bit annoying, especially, you know, if you reach that maximum build limit and you're in the middle of doing an area or a project. I would find that quite annoying. So that is one pro of the PC version, but of course it all depends on how well it runs on a PC, and a lot more people have probably got a console what will run Planet Coaster than they have a PC that will run Planet Coaster. So it's a tough one. It all depends on what you play and what you prefer, doesn't it? For me, I don't really play any other games, so yeah, there's no point in me having another console. I say that, I did have a bit of a joke with Santa Claus when me and Charlotte went to see him at Alton Towers just a few days ago. I asked him for a PS5, but I don't really want one. I just thought I'd say it's a bit of a joke because I know they're so hard to get at the moment. But yeah, talking of that, if you haven't already, check out our 2 brand new Christmas vlogs that have gone on across the previous 2 days. One from Alton Towers Christmas. We had a great time. Limited ride offering, but we got on the rides in CBeebies Land, Mutiny Bay, Spinball Wizard, so there was a coaster ride, and also Octonauts as well, so a couple of coasters were open. The driving school's open, there's some festive entertainment on the stage, live singers and carolists, and along with that as well, they've got the 2 garden light walks that are absolutely gorgeous. So if you haven't already, check out that brand new Alton Towers vlog. That went online 2 days ago, of course, at the time of this being uploaded. And also yesterday we uploaded a brand new vlog from Warwick Castle. We went there to do their light trail, and that was amazing. It was actually over an hour long walkthrough of Warwick Castle's grounds, and it was stunning with all the lights all the way around. We had such a good time, and of course there was all Christmas markets there as well, so it was great to go and support some smaller businesses with Christmas presents and look around the markets and get a couple of bits from there. So yeah, we really enjoyed it. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out those 2 new festive vlogs here on Theme Park Worldwide. Of course, when we come back up to the weekend, there's going to be some more festive vlogs coming as well, so make sure that you stay tuned for those here on Theme Park Worldwide. Like I say, we really appreciate all of your support, and of course trying to get out there and support as many parks and businesses as we can do after what has been a really difficult year. As you can see then, just adding some more lights now onto the back of the Cars Ride station building there, and also as well we've put in the building for the chairlift as well, using the same building style just to fit with everything else around there. I thought we've got to add these in. These would be perfect, and kind of, you know, inspired a little bit by the Christmas light walks that we've done at Alton Towers and Warwick Castle, with these really nice archways. I thought, let's put these in. These were released with Planet Coaster as part of the vintage pack, and I thought I'm going to put them all the way around because they look really nice, especially from an on-ride perspective. And as you can see, here's a little bit of on-ride footage from driving home for Christmas that definitely would not be sang by me on the on-ride audio for this one. And before you all comment saying, Sean, do some on-ride audio and get singing, I'm not doing it for this one, I'm sorry. But no, I'm glad that you're all enjoying the series. We're coming to the end of episode 7 here, but of course I will be back with episode 8 next Wednesday, and like I've just announced earlier in this episode, there will be another brand new series coming in January 2021. Of course, that will take us through until the opening of the theme parks again back in March, so make sure you stay tuned for that one here on the channel. But yeah, the archways look quite cute, don't they, as we're making our way up the top there. You can sit there, drive home for Christmas, have a nice romantic car ride. A lot of people will be taking selfies and stuff on this one, sitting in the cars with the, of course, going through the light tunnels, and then over this very traditional bridge just here as well that I'm very pleased with. Looks quite nice, that, doesn't it? Like, you can look through the sides there and get some lovely views of all of the area and how it's all lit up. And you head back down there through the trees, through the forest, see all the houses in the distance. Yeah, I am very pleased with how this has all come together throughout episode 7 here. Got the bandstand off there to the left with all the lights on the floor and the roof, and the big Christmas tree in the middle as well. And another fantastic photo opportunity for guests as they make their way around there towards some more light tunnels, and of course the station, which is smothered in lights, for the car ride. So let's have a look at some more angles, shall we now, of the area. A really nice aerial view there showing the chairlift, the car ride in action. And yeah, this is looking great, isn't it? Very pleased with all the white colour scheme that we've got going on with this. And phase 2 of this area that's going to be built in episode 8 is going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be very colourful. The fair has come to town, the Christmas fair, and the plan is to put that in along with some market stalls as well, to make it feel like a proper Christmas Winter Wonderland fair. So that's going to be worked on in the next episode, next Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And I look forward to seeing you then. But yeah, it seems like this part of this area is ready to open for guests, so I'm going to do that. We'll get this open, and then of course in the next episode we'll continue with the second phase of this area, and a nice aerial view there just to finish this one up. So thank you very much for joining me, Sean Sandbrook, here in our Planet Coaster series and Christmas Wonderland, and I'll see you next Wednesday with episode 8 in the series. That leaves me with one final thing to say: get out there and keep on riding. See you next week.